Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Conversations Are My Thing. Of course, I'm your host, Trinity Jackson, and as always, I'm excited to talk about the topic that I will be discussing today. And I have to apologize for my absence, okay? I was doing really good. I was super consistent, and then out of nowhere, and when I say nowhere, I really mean out of a Domino's pizza box, I get food poisoning. And oh my gosh, it's so crazy that I go in the gym and put my body through all different types of uncomfortable, painful workouts, but a stomach ache will literally just take me out of the game, have me on my deathbed writing my will. Like, oh my gosh, I hate throwing up. I hate being sick. I was literally making my dad wait on me like I was 7 years old again. I didn't do anything. I did not leave the living room unless I was going to the bathroom. So I'm back. I'm healthy. I'm happy, and I'm ready to get into it and ready to get back on the consistent post because I miss y'all and I hope y'all have missed me. So I know the location's different. We're going to talk about that a little bit later in the week, but let's go ahead and get into the topic of discussion today, which is something I learned from a book that I read. Well, not technically read, I listened to. I use Audible a lot when it comes to being able to consume a lot of books, and Audible is such an amazing platform. So I wouldn't consider that a book I've read, but I've listened to. But it is called Extreme Ownership, and it just talks about the importance of taking responsibility for everything that happens in your life. Now, I am gonna tell you right now, I did not finish the whole book because it's a really like an Army, U.S., like Navy based book. So it's like a long story times of like Army stuff, and that's simply just not like my forte. I initially got it because I was interested in what the title, like, you know, what exactly they're talking about. It was like labeled Extreme Ownership. I was like, okay, that's intriguing. And my mom and I share the Audible account. We usually make our decisions together on what book we're gonna get. So like, you know what, we're gonna get this one. Have you ever seen the movie American Sniper? The individual who is the American Sniper is also a co-author of the book. So I was like, okay, you know what? This is going to be good. But I'm not really into war stories for numerous reasons. So I simply didn't finish it. And I also kind of got the gist of it in the beginning. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, because I listened to it that one time, but it had a really big impact on, you know, my day-to-day and how I perceived certain situations that I was in. And there's a certain power you get when you really start to take responsibility for the things that happen to you. So essentially, it's called extreme ownership because it's extreme. The concept is that no matter what happens in your life, whether you did it or not, it is your fault. So this is an example they use that that really kind of settled it in for me. Let's say you're driving and someone rear ends you, right? Now, everybody can get to the point where they're screaming, they're yelling, they're angry, they're blaming this person 100%. Like, it is 100% your fault that you rear-ended me, right? And that seems like a logical explanation. Like, I'm driving and you came from behind me and hit me, and your insurance company is surely going to say it's your fault. Everyone's going to say it's your fault. So, but not so. But in the book, they basically break down that, however, there is something that you could have done on your end to avoid that occurrence. You could have left earlier. You could have been looking in your rear view and made sure you were paying attention to all of your surroundings, because honestly, that's what I do. I know that people, whenever you're driving, you have to drive for everybody else on the road, because some people can't drive, especially when you live in the great state of Texas, where most people, I feel like Houston is a state in its state, because I consider Texas and Houston to low-key be two different things. But in Houston, they really can't drive. So I always consider driving for other people. But besides that, whenever they broke down that concept, I said, I'm not going to lie, you're right. Like, you could easily say, okay, it's your fault. Now I'm angry and you've ruined my day and I'm going to completely blame you. And of course, like, you know, the insurance company would handle it. But if you take the mindset that, you know what, I did have something to do with this. I'm not saying go ahead and just pay for it outright. Like, definitely deal with insurance. But I'm saying that it allows you to start to move and take control of your life. Because if you feel like you don't have responsibility and everything isn't your fault, then when your life is not going the way that you want it to go, like when you aren't accomplishing the things you want to accomplish and you're not moving towards the life you want, then you're not going to be able to take control and say, you know what, I'm the reason I'm in the position I'm in. As soon as you can say, you know what, everything that's happened in my life, good or bad, wasn't my parents' fault, it wasn't my friend's fault, it wasn't my neighbor or my auntie or my dog's fault. Everything in my life that has put me in the position that I'm in is my fault. And if I do not at this moment have the life that I want, it is my fault. But if you can say this is that I'm in the position I'm in because of me, then you can also change the position you're in because of you. There are too many individuals that stay and they live with their parents till they're 30, 40 years old, which is not saying it's the worst thing ever if you're taking care of your parents, but if you're still depending on them 100% until you're 30, 40 years old, and they're like, oh, well, why didn't you ever go to college? Why didn't you ever start that business? Why didn't you ever da-da-da-da? And instead of saying, oh, because I wasn't disciplined, because I didn't focus, because I wasn't consistent, because I gave up too soon. If you ever say the reason that I'm not where I want to be is because of so-and-so, then you now lose control of your life, because then you can't change your life until so-and-so does something. And it's a crazy concept, but this is what it's done for me. For example, Coda Jackson is my dog. And I'm not, if you're a dog parent, then maybe you get this. And if you're not, just stick with me in terms of a child or anything you take care of, whatever the case may be. I don't care if it's a plant. So Coda is a handful. He is a handful. And when I first got him as a puppy, I really just got him because he was cute. I wasn't thinking ahead in terms of having to train him. Not to mention he's a husky. He's an extremely active dog. The shedding, he has separation anxiety. I got him because I like, oh my God, he's such a cute puppy. I love him. I'm going to get this dog. I didn't think I have to train this dog. I have to teach this dog how to be a good dog, or everyone's going to think he's bad. Now, a lot of people get dogs and they're, oh my God, this is too much work. I'm going to take you to the pound. Now, I'm not going to get into why I hate that, but you have to realize that if you're like, okay, the reason that this dog isn't acting right is because it's a bad dog, so I'm going to get another dog. All right, oh my God, that just happens to be a bad dog too. I'm going to get another dog until I buy a good dog. And what a lot of individuals don't understand is that if it's always the dog's fault of why it's not acting right, then you're never going to have a good dog. There's always going to be something it's not doing right, or something it could be doing more of. Every time Coda was acting out and doing things I know he wasn't supposed to, I couldn't get mad at him. I mean, let me not say that. I'd be getting mad at him. Let me not say that. I'd be getting mad at him, but I won't take it out on him. I remember one day I came home and Coda had torn up my pink Beats Pro headphones. And if you know me, when I'm working out, I love my music, I love my playlist. I came home and he had torn them up to the point of no return. I'm talking the stuffing for the ears was all across the house. The headband part was just broken in half. Like, he had to be only like 8 months old, maybe 6 or 8 months old, literally only 30 pounds. He was a little puppy, but I remember I was so angry. And then I thought about it and I said, you know what? It's my fault. I should have put him in the cage for one. I should teach him not to tear up things. I should give him a bone. This is my fault. And since it was my fault, I was able to go put him into training. And honestly, we're still training. Coda is still a work in progress to this day. He is not the best dog ever. But I know that it is a reflection of me. And I know that all it takes is for me to train him on a daily basis so he could do the things that I want him to do. Coda didn't come to me as a good dog. I have to make Coda a good dog. I have to teach him how to be a good dog. I think that, I said this before, how you do anything is how you do everything. Anyone that gets an animal and decides after caring for it that it's too much work, or they don't listen, or this, that, and the third, then that is someone who avoids responsibility. I think that as I've learned this concept and applied it in my life in numerous ways, I even take responsibility for my health. I'm not built the way I am because my dad is this and my mom is this and that's why I'm this. No. I don't eat well, and I wasn't working out, and that's why I wasn't healthy. So I went to the gym. I just had to realize that if I take responsibility for where I am entirely, I'm talking whether you could do something about it or not, and then you take responsibility for how you act as well, because this has now poured into my life in other areas. And I know that I need to control my emotions, because if you can't control your emotions, you can't control your money, you can't control your life, you can't control anything. Emotions are really big. A lot of people have big emotions. They have road rage and things like that because of what? I don't know. But here's how I'm thinking of it. I have a sister, and I remember one time she made me really, 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 really mad, like really, really, really mad. And she can fly off the handle really fast and get really angry in a very short period of time. And I remember she was yelling and she was screaming, and I was in my head processing what I should do and how I should respond to the situation, because I don't react, I respond. I didn't react in that moment, I respond. So I was thinking, I'm like, damn, like, bro, she is yelling, she is screaming, she is angry, I'm angry, but I know if I yell, it's not gonna do anything. And honestly, I cannot control what she does. I can't control that she did this, that, and the third. I have to simply focus on what I can control. So I know I can control how I react to the situation. Furthermore, I know that I could have avoided this entirely if I would have done this, this, and this instead of this. I could have avoided this if I didn't leave this in so-and-so's hand. A lot of it, people, what's always interesting to me? When someone, let's say you, and good example. One time I told my dad to watch my plants for me while I was gone for the week. I came back, one of my plants was dead. I was annoyed, but I wasn't mad. I wasn't mad at my dad. I said, you know what? I should have prepared better. I should have set up a watering system that could, because they have those little things that can automatically water your plants. So there's basically, here's the synopsis. Let me put it in a nutshell for you. Your life is, you are in control of your life. Everything that happens to you, good or bad, is your fault. And if it is your fault, then you can change everything that happens to you, good or bad. So I feel like it's a good thing. I like responsibility. I look for responsibility. I look to take responsibility in as many situations as possible. I want to say, you know what, it's my fault. I'll fix it. I want to. I literally want to. I'll do it. Bet on me. Depend on me to do it. I'm going to get it done. I will take responsibility. Because there are certain things where you just don't lose when you do it. Like, you don't lose when you take responsibility. Taking on more responsibility just simply will never result. Let me not say never. I do not believe that there is really any situation where you will regret taking more responsibility. You're either gonna learn from it because something didn't happen and it was your fault, or you're gonna get more courageous and be more confident in yourself because you took responsibility and it went well. So I hope that you take this and realize that everything that you have, everything that you don't have, is because of you. In that way, if you want more, if you think you deserve more, then you can do something about it, because you can change your life. You can change your life. But if you keep thinking that it's because of your mom or your dad or your teacher in 5th grade that told you were going to be nothing, if you keep thinking that you are in the position that you are in because of anybody else other than you, then you will simply always be waiting for someone to come in and change your life, and it's simply not going to happen because everybody else is worried about changing their own lives. So thank you all for listening. I'm back. I'm better. I'm healthy. I'm happy. I love and appreciate each and every single one of you. Make sure you join my Discord if you want to be able to connect with me one-on-one so that I can help in any way. You feel me? I love the community that I'm creating here. I love to be able to spread the things that I'm learning. Again, the book that I mentioned is called Extreme Ownership if you're into the Army thing, if you're into the Navy thing. But I honestly got the gist of it very, very quickly, so it really didn't take me long. I hope you all have an amazing day. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode of Conversations Are My Thing. Mwah.